morning. Just bear with me because I did not do my Sunday recap on Sunday. I did it today, Monday morning, when I got to work. But I'm just gonna go over what we talked about in church, and then if I had any kind of revelations from it. So just bear with me. I wanted to do it this way so that I could actually read my notes, and so that I wouldn't have to stumble through. But I'm still gonna stumble through. I'm almost certain. If you didn't watch the sermon from Pastor Mike Jr. in Rock City this past week, please go and watch it. I'll try to tag the video, tag the YouTube channel in my description so that you can find it. But he taught from Luke 19:1, and the message was called "Get It Done Now." And for me, I think sometimes we feel like we almost forget that time is special. Time is limited. That you only get one moment, and sometimes you don't get a second opportunity to go back and do something. Sometimes the Lord, because how the Lord sets things up, he sets it up in such a meticulous way. The perfect time is the perfect time. You have to take the opportunities when they come to you. And that's sort of what Pastor Mike talked about. Don't let that moment get past you. And so what he says, he talks about that Jesus is passing through Jericho, and how he goes through. He says he's passing through Jericho, meaning he's just going through. He ain't planning on making no stops. What happens is he ends up stopping, and staying with Zacchaeus. And so he went all into that. One thing he did though I thought was very, very interesting is he said, "All right, everybody raise your hands." And then everybody raised, and he was like, "Why would I told y'all to raise your hands? Y'all all did it like this. Instead of giving the Lord your full, giving it your all." He said, we have the mindset that we do everything half first. He's like, now raise your hands all the way to the full extent. He's like, that's what you should be doing. He said, I told the Lord this year that I'm going to give him all of me, all I got, and everything. So we should seize every moment. What are you wasting God is trying to use? So know that things that we're complaining about, things that the Lord has gifted us to do, it's times and moments that he's just waiting on us to step out on faith to do it, so he can start moving. But sometimes we're too scared to do it, and it be holding us back. Let's see here. One thing that sometimes we forget, that Jesus tells us that he has come for the lost. He came to heal. He came for the lost sheep of Israel. This is what stood out to me, to be honest. And sorry if I feel like I'm stumbling, but I'm trying to read through my notes as I do it. He said, my job is to introduce people to Jesus who don't know Jesus. And that stood out to me because I know that, but sometimes we get so used to the routine of how we do things and build a community, because that's what the Lord, I feel like he's really got me to do, is just help build up the community of people around me so that it can expand and it can grow, and all the things that need to happen can happen through him. But I felt like a little tug on me yesterday that I need to be expanding my search besides just people that's already then found him. Yes, I still need to walk alongside the people that he sent to me, but I also should be aware and open and ready for whoever new he sends. And I should be sharing my testimony and sharing his love, sharing sharing the good news with whoever, so that they receive, they have that seed planted, and that the Holy Spirit can move in their life. I am a disruptor, and I'm telling you this one thing, that this one always get me, because he says, the Lord, he will place somebody in the family that's going to disrupt the norm, the habits, the things. And he said, some people call them generational curse breakers, but I'm a disruptor. I'm going to disrupt the norm of what we do in this place. If your family is a family that are alcoholics, the Lord's going to place a disruptor in there, and somebody got to break that cycle of being an alcoholic. If your family struggles with control or adultery or divorce, whatever it may be, the Lord going to send somebody in there to break that cycle. It's just up to them to let him use them. Look at that crumb. Let's see. This is it. This is your moment. Every moment is the blessing from the Lord, and we need to take hold of it, whatever it may be. I keep telling this to the people around me. He has placed us in specific places for a reason. And it's somebody there, something there that you're supposed to do. So make sure that you're working in what he's calling you to do. Because he said he feels like 2024 is our set up season. And 2025, the Lord is teaching us how to manage what we got this year for what he's going to send next year. Because next year is going to be a different kind of shift. And I can honestly, I can feel that myself, that it's gonna be a shift next year. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I don't get the best feeling from it. I said that way. Zacchaeus, the name Zacchaeus means pure and clear. He worked from Rome. He was rich. He was a scammer. He was working for the oppressor and coming up off of the oppressed. So to be quite honest, Zacchaeus, though his name says pure and clear, he was not living a pure and clear lifestyle. But this goes to show you that when the Lord has touched you, and you have seen, and even if he hasn't touched you directly, if you've seen how he's worked in somebody else's life, you know that your heart tells you it's time for a shift. And so Jesus, I think it was like in verse 9. I think it's in verse 9. Towards the end of what we was reading, Zacchaeus said, I will give half of all my riches to the poor. And then anybody that I have cheated, I will give them 4 times as much what I have scammed them out of, basically. So Pastor Mike kept reiterating that, going back over, because I think people weren't getting it. That Jesus never told him that he had to give anybody anything. Jesus never told him to correct his fault. But the Holy Spirit will convict you. He will tell you, and your heart will know, this ain't right. And if I want to be in his presence, then I need to do the things that he calls us to do. I need to live like he calls us to live. And that's the same thing for us today. If we call ourselves to be Christians, we don't get the right to walk around with that spirit of offense all the time. Really, no times. We don't get the right to cuss people out just because they made us mad. We don't get those same rights to just do as we please, because we are held to a higher standard. Because our God holds us to a higher standard by the life he gave for us. He said there are 2 types of people to see Jesus: people that are curious and people that are serious. People that are curious, that's tied to miracles, and then people that are serious, that's tied to character. So you got people that just want to see, even with people around you, people just want to see what you're doing. And then you got people that really want to know how he has transformed you, how you are living this life that he's created, that you're living in. Let's see here. You got to make sure that you're identifying the problem. What is the problem that you're having? For Zacchaeus, he was small and it was a crowd. That was his problem. What is your problem? And one thing Pastor Mike said on here, as in this next one, but he talks about check your circumference. Yes, we got to check our heart, but also check the people around you, your surroundings, not even just the people, the places, the things, like what you are submerged in, because that holds you captive to the old things when the Lord is pulling you out and he's shifting you in a new direction. And he's trying to level you up in a way, but if you're still held in those same things, you're not leveling up. For example, people that, I'll say for myself, I was raised in a little small town, North Alabama, but I knew I wasn't staying there. I'm just be quite honest. I knew I wasn't about to stay there. I was ready to go before I graduated. I was like, yeah, I'm getting up out of here, baby. I was not planning to be in Birmingham, but I knew I was gonna be there my whole existence. And so, but if I had chosen to stay there, you get that same small town mindset. You stay around the same people that you used to stay around. And how can you elevate when everybody's still doing the same thing? But when you put yourself around people that are more intelligent, people that are more successful, people that hold a different, higher standard for themselves, that makes you adjust to those things if those are the things that you want for yourself. And one thing that Pastor Mike said is be unique. And by unique, Y-O-U-N-I-Q-U-E. I had to look at it. Be unique. The Lord has created you in your own specific way. Walk in the fullness of how he has created you. You don't have to mimic anybody else. You have to use the gifts that he has given you, because we're all created uniquely so that we can do what the Lord's called us to do for the people he sent to us. Let's see. People that have an identity crisis, everything around them dies except for their physical body. Relationships die. Marriages die, divorce, like jobs die, finances, because you're putting on being somebody that you're not, trying to uphold this standard, this look, and that's just not who you are. And I believe all of us go through a phase in our life where we go through an identity crisis, when we don't know who we are, because of whether it may be in elementary school, high school, middle school, college, and adult, whatever it may be. We all go through a crisis, identity crisis. We don't know who we are as an individual. We don't know who God has created us to be. We don't even know what we just here. We don't. Excuse me. We're just here. So yeah, and then what did he say? He said to be physically be where he is. So physically be where the Lord is calling you to be in this moment, and mentally be where he is going. So be physically where he is in this moment, doing what you're supposed to be doing in this moment, but be mentally prepared for any moment it can shift, and he can be shifting you somewhere else. Yeah, it was 8. Yeah, it was verse 9, I think. So that was it. It was really good. Please go check it out. I'm sure I butchered it. It was nowhere near as good as what he said. Just please check it out. It was such a good sermon yesterday. I hope you have a great week. I'm gonna post this as soon as I can today, and I will post again on Wednesday for the midweek. What is it? Midweek? It ain't midweek boost. It's midweek something. I don't know. Midweek something. But I'm gonna post something for the midweek. Love y'all.